Hello students, Jinali Shah welcomes you all on behalf of Saraswat International Academy. Students, let us begin with Standard 12th Biology subject, chapter number 1, that is reproduction in organisms. Now see students, in the previous year we have studied regarding different organ systems which carry out various activities of our body. Like we have studied regarding digestive system, excretory system, we have studied regarding respiration system, then circulatory system, we have studied regarding the muscular and skeletal system. So these all organ systems were carrying out important activities of our body. So basically they perform various physiological activities of our body. The first chapter of standard 12 is reproduction in organism, which is another, basically it is one of the activity which is very much responsible for the continuity of the organisms from generation to generation. So let us begin with the chapter reproduction in organisms. So first of all, introductory part of the chapter. Students, living organisms show the life cycle involving birth, growth, development, maturation, reproduction and death. So basically when we talk about the life cycle of living organism, what occurs? There will be the birth of organism, its growth will occur, its development will occur, its maturation will occur. After attaining maturity, the organism will reproduce, and finally after the process of senescence, after the process of aging, the organism will die. So this is the general life cycle of all the living organisms: birth, growth, development, maturation, reproduction and death. So in this present chapter we are concerned regarding how the process of reproduction occurs. But before how the process of reproduction occurs, let us study what is reproduction. Re means again, production means produce. The organism produces the organism of its own kind. What is that process called as? That process is called as reproduction. So reproduction is a biological process of formation of new offsprings from the pre-existing organisms. So from the pre-existing organisms, from the already existing organisms, new organisms will be formed. So it is basically a biological process by which the organisms produced their young ones. The young ones grow, mature to repeat the process, and thus reproduction results in the continuation of the species. So what is the importance? What is the necessity of the reproduction? Why reproduction is a very much important activity, or you can say physiological process of the body? Here the new young organisms, they will grow, they will mature, they will reproduce, and hence there will be the continuation of species from one generation to the next. This phenomenon is very significant in continuity of species generation after generations, as older individuals undergo senescence and ultimately they die. So why this process is important? It is important for continuity of species. How it is important for continuity of the species? So basically the number of the species, or you can say that species will be maintained one generation after the next, because from all the generations the older organisms will die because they will undergo senescence, and their place needs to be taken by the new organisms. Typically, the reproduction is observed in all living organisms, from single celled entities such as amoeba to multicellular entities of the most advanced forms such as the human beings. So the process of reproduction occurs in each and every organism, from the unicellular organisms to the most complex multicellular organisms. Like it occurs in amoeba, which is a single cell organism, to the most complex multicellular organism, that is human being. So each and every living organisms will undergo the process of reproduction. Now before starting the main topic of reproduction, let us study what is lifespan. Each and every organisms can live for a certain period of time. We know that जो organisms का birth होने वाला है, finally they will die. No organism is immortal. So the period from birth to the death of an organism, to the natural death of an organism, is called what? Lifespan. So each and every organism can live only for the certain period of time. So birth से लेकर death तक जितना उनका survival हुआ, what is that called as? It is called as lifespan. The period from birth to the natural death of an organism is called its lifespan. It is both interesting and intriguing, that is fascinating to note that lifespan may be as short as few days or as long as few thousands years. So lifespan of the different organisms is different. In some organisms the lifespan is only for few days, whereas in some organisms the organisms can survive for thousands of years also. So the lifespan of the organisms varies depending upon the organisms. It may be few months to thousands, or it may be from few days to the thousands of years. The lifespan of the organisms are not necessarily correlated with their sizes. The lifespan of the organism is not dependent on the size of the organism. Say for example, the size of crows and parrots are not very different, yet their lifespans show the wide difference. Now size of crow and parrot is approximately similar, but the lifespan of both these organisms is very different. Parrots can live for many years, whereas the lifespan of the crow is few years. Similarly, a mango tree has a much shorter lifespan as compared to the peepal tree. दोनों की size approximately same है. The size of the mango tree and peepal tree is approximately similar, but their lifespans are different, right? So whatever be the lifespan, death of every individual organism is a certainty, that is no individual is immortal except the single celled organism. So whatever is the lifespan, whether it is few days, whether it is thousands of years, whatever is the case, no living organism is immortal. Each and every living organism have to die one day. There is an exception of the unicellular organisms. Why the unicellular organisms do not die? Why they are immortal? The reason is there is no natural death in single celled organism as they divide and form two cells. Basically, in the single celled organisms, in the unicellular organisms, the cell division is only the way of reproduction. Yani one cell, it will divide and form two cells. That two cells again will divide and form further two cells. So as in them cell division is the only way of reproduction, we can say that there is no natural death in case of the unicellular organisms. Now this is a table showing the approximate lifespans of some of the organisms, right? See, like elephant, its average lifespan is 65 to 90 years. Dog, it is 20 to 30 years. Crow, it is approximately 15 years. Cow, it is 15 to 25 years. Parrot, it is 140 years. So आप देख सकते हो crow and parrot whose size are approximately similar but their lifespan are different. Crow can survive approximately up to 15 years, but parrot can survive up to 140 years. Crocodile, its lifespan is 60 years. Horse, it is 100 to 150 years. Rose, it is 5 to 7 years. Banana tree, it is 20 to 25 years. Rice plant, it is 3 to 4 months. Banyan tree, it is 200 to 300 years. Butterfly, it is only 1 to 2 weeks. Fruit fly, it is 20 to 30 days. Tortoise, it is 100 to 150 years. So these are approximate lifespan of the some organisms, and you need to keep in mind that lifespan of the organism is not dependent on the size of the organisms. That is very, very, very important thing. Okay. So that is regarding the lifespan. Now let us study the brief description regarding the process of reproduction. So reproduction is defined as a biological process in which an organism gives rise to the young ones, that is offspring similar to itself. So what is reproduction? A process in which an organisms give rise to the young ones or offsprings which are similar to itself. The offspring will also grow, it will mature and in turn produce the new offspring. So this cycle continues. Reproduction से जो young ones बने, now that young ones will grow, they will mature and they will also reproduce to form the new organism. So this cycle will continue. So there is a cycle of birth, growth and death. So what is the necessity of reproduction? As I told you, it enables the continuity of the species generation after generation. Genetic variation is created and inherited during reproduction. Normally, ये जो variations generate होते हैं, they are normally generated at the time of the sexual reproduction, which we will be studying in the next chapter, but we will study in this chapter too how the sexual reproduction occurs and how variation occurs during reproduction, that we will be studying when we study the chapter of genetics. There is a large diversity in biological world and each organism have evolved its mechanism to multiply and produce offspring. Variety of living organisms are found and each and every organisms have different mechanisms to produce the offsprings. The organism's habitat, its internal physiology and several other factors are responsible for how it reproduces. Now how the organisms undergo reproduction, कैसे organisms में reproduction होगा, that is basically dependent upon the habitat of the organisms, its internal physiology, and there are several other factors that to determine how the organism will reproduce. Now let us study regarding the types of reproduction. Now how many organisms are involved, how many parents are involved in the process of reproduction, on that basis there are two types of reproduction. One is asexual reproduction and another one is the sexual reproduction. So based on whether there is a participation of one or two in the process of reproduction, it is of two types. So the process of the reproduction is further categorized into two types based on the number of organisms involved in the process of reproduction. If only one organism is involved, it is called as asexual reproduction, and if two parents of opposite sex are involved, then that process is called as the sexual reproduction. So the process of reproduction is basically divided into two types on the basis of the number of the parents involved. If only one parent is involved, it is asexual reproduction. If two parents of opposite sex are involved, then it is called as the sexual reproduction. So first is asexual reproduction. When offspring is produced by a single parent with or without the involvement of gamete formation, the reproduction is called as asexual. So what is asexual reproduction? If only one parent is involved and there basically won't be the formation of the gametes. Gametes are the reproductive cells like egg and sperms. What are they called? They are called as gamete. So the process of reproduction which involves only one parent and basically there won't be the formation of the gametes, then such condition is called as the asexual reproduction. In certain cases, like in honeybees, the gamete formation occurs in the asexual reproduction also, and hence it is written with or without involvement of the gametes. Normally, in the case of the asexual reproduction, there won't be the involvement of, basically there won't be the process of gamete formations. There are certain exceptions like male honeybee कि जिसमें गैमेट फॉर्मेशन होगा, बट इट विल बी द प्रोसेस ऑफ asexual reproduction. The offspring produced are genetically identical. Now, the offspring produced as a result of the asexual reproductions are genetically related. The genetic composition of the offsprings will be exact to their parents, because here there is no involvement of the gametes. Gametes are not involved, gametes involved नहीं है, यानी there won't be the fusion of gametes. Fusion of gametes can result in variations, but यहाँ पे there is no fusion of gametes, there is no formation of gametes, and hence the new offsprings produced will be exact copies of their parents. Asexual reproduction is usually by mitotic divisions of the somatic cells. So, asexual reproduction occurs mainly by mitotic division in the somatic cells, and hence it is also called as the somatogenic reproduction. Sexual reproduction. When two parents of opposite sex participate in reproductive process and also involve fusion of male and female gametes, that is fusion of sperms and ovum, it is called as sexual reproduction. So, what is sexual reproduction? When two parents of opposite sex, that is a male parent and a female parent, when they participate in reproductive process, it will involve the fusion of the gamete, that is male gamete, the sperm, and the female gamete, that is ovum or egg. They will fuse, and that process is called as sexual reproduction. As it involves the fusion of the gametes, there will be the genetic variations generated, and hence the offsprings produced as a result of sexual reproductions are not genetically, or you can say they are not exact copies of parents. Say for example, human beings. Are we exact copies of our parents? No. Why are we not exact copies of parents? Because we are the result of sexual reproduction, which involves fusion of gametes, and this fusion of gametes will result in the genetic variation. Now let us study in detail the process of asexual reproduction. In this method, a single parent or individual is capable of producing the offspring. We have seen that asexual reproduction where single parent is involved, and it will result in the formation of the offspring. As a result, the offspring that are produced are not only identical to one another, but are also exact copies of their parents. So, offsprings, they will be identical to each other as well as they are exact copies of their parent. These offsprings are likely to be genetically identical. So, the term clone is used to describe such morphologically and genetically similar individuals. Morphologically, that is, external appearance will be the same. Genetically, that is, the genetic composition will also be same. So, morphologically and genetically identical individuals are, what are they called as? They are called as clones. So, always asexual reproduction results in the morphologically and genetically identical organisms which are called as clones. Asexual reproduction is common in single-celled organisms and in plants and animals with relatively simple organizations. So, basically, which organisms will undergo asexual reproduction? Mostly the unicellular organisms and plants and animals which have simple body organizations. In them, we will see the process of asexual reproduction. In protists and moneron, the organism or the parent cell divides by mitosis to give rise to two cells to new individuals. So, जो protists and moneron appearance होते हैं which are unicellular organisms. In them, that single cell will divide by mitosis into two cells, and these two cells are nothing but they are the new individuals. So we can say in these organisms the cell division itself is a mode of reproduction. Okay. Now there are different types of the asexual reproduction. So one of the type of asexual reproduction is binary fission. So what is fission? Fission means to break. Binary, it means two. So a single cell will divide, it will break and result in the formation of two new cells. So what is that called as? It is called as the binary fission. So what is binary fission? Many single-celled organisms reproduce by binary fission, where a cell divides into two halves and each rapidly grows into an adult. Example, amoeba and paramecium. So binary, it means two, and fission means breakdown. So here the cell will divide into two, and each of these two cells will rapidly grow into the adult organism. Example is amoeba. So see students, here you can see the amoeba, right? So this is the parent cell. First of all, there will be the nuclear division. So nucleus will grow in size. यहाँ पे देखो, nucleus is growing in size. Then it will undergo duplication. So two nucleus are formed. After duplication, it undergoes the cytoplasmic division, and finally two new daughter amoeba are formed. So this is how the process of binary fission occurs. What happens? The parent organisms divides into two halves, and each half forms a daughter individuals. The nucleus divides first mitotically, that is by karyokinesis, and followed by the division of cytoplasm, that is cytokinesis. Students, in 11th standard we have studied the process of cell division. There are two types of cell division, mitosis and meiosis. Mitosis is a type of cell division where the chromosome numbers are maintained, and meiosis is a type of cell division where chromosomes number are reduced to half, right? So here in binary fission, first of all there will be the nuclear division, which is called as karyokinesis, and it is followed by cytoplasmic division, that is called as the cytokinesis. The resulting offsprings are genetically identical to the parent. So that is regarding the binary fission. See students, here you can see this is a parent cell. In parent cell पहले DNA का duplication होगा, that is the number of the DNA will double, amount of the DNA will double. After that, here you can see that there is the division of the cytoplasm, and finally two new daughter cells are formed. So this is how the binary fission process will take place. Now next method is budding. So students, what is budding? Budding means again it is a type of the mitotic cell division where some part of the body undergoes continuous division, form a bud. This bud later detaches from the parent body, and it will basically live the individual life. So in budding, the parent body produces one or more buds, and each bud will grow into the young one. Bud is nothing but a mass of a cell, outgrowth. The birds separate from the parent to lead a normal life. In yeast, the division is unequal and small birds are produced that remain attached initially to the parent cell, which eventually get separated and mature into the new yeast organisms. See students, this is a parent yeast. Now in this parent yeast, a bird is formed. Okay, what is produced? A bird is produced. Now this bird first of all grow, and it is attached to the parent body. Later this bird will detach, and after it detaches, this bird will form the new yeast. So this is how the budding process occurs. Now multiple fission and sporulation. Basically it is seen in the amoeba. So during unfavorable conditions, what can be considered as unfavorable condition? Increase or decrease in temperature, scarcity of food, or इनअवेबिलिटी ऑफ द फूड, ये सब कंडीशंस को हम कंसिडर कर सकते हैं अनफेवरेबल कंडीशंस. So during unfavorable conditions, amoeba withdraws its pseudopodia and secretes a 3-layered protective chitinous cyst wall around it, and it becomes inactive. So at the time of unfavorable conditions, what happens? Amoeba will withdraw its pseudopodia. It will remove its pseudopodia, and that amoeba will form a 3-layered cyst wall. It is a chitinous cyst wall, and after formation of cyst wall, that amoeba becomes inactive. So this process of formation of the cyst is called as encystment. What is it called as? Encystment, or also it is called as encystation. Okay. Now, cyst is formed during unfavorable condition. Now what will happen once the favorable condition arrives? So when the conditions become favorable, the encysted amoeba is the amoeba with the cyst wall. It divides by multiple fission and produces many minute amoeba called pseudopodiospore or amebule. Now, जैसे ही favorable conditions arises, what happens? The encysted amoeba undergoes multiple fission. Multiple fission यानी क्या? There will be the formation of the nuclear division continuously होता जाएगा. So within the parent amoeba, lot many of the small minute amoeba are formed. There will be the continuous, basically within that encysted amoeba, small amoeba will be formed by the mitotic division. These small minute amoeba are called pseudopodiospores. Now the cyst wall absorbs the water and breaks off. So what will happen? Now this cyst wall will absorb the water and it will burst off, swell. Of course, when a cell absorbs the water, it will burst, liberating the young pseudopodiospores, each with the fine pseudopodia. So the cyst wall absorbs water, it will burst off, and the pseudopodiospores will be liberated. Each pseudopodiospore will have the fine pseudopodia. They feed and grow rapidly to lead an independent life. So this phenomenon is called as sporulation. So this is how the process of reproduction occurs in amoeba. See students, here you can see this is a 3-layered cyst wall, that is first thing, encystment. Now see students, this when the favorable condition arise, the nuclear division will take place. So there will be the nuclei formation. Now after the nuclear division, there will be the cytoplasmic division also, or you can say this small minute amoeba are formed within a single one. Okay, so that is called as pseudopodiospores. Now this encysted wall, or you can say cyst wall, will rupture and they will liberate pseudopodiospore with the fine you can say pseudopodia. So this is the young amoeba with the pseudopodia. So this is how the reproduction occurs in the amoeba. Now there are several group of the organisms like fungi and simple plants which possess special reproductive structures to undergo the asexual reproduction. So which are the special reproductive structures? Members of kingdom fungi and simple plants such as algae, they reproduce through the special asexual reproductive structures. The most common of these structures are zoospores. So there are special structures found in fungi and other simple plants. These reproductive structure, these are called as the asexual reproductive structures. One of the most common asexual reproduction are zoospores. So basically zoospores are the motile spores. Motile hai yani they will have some structures related to motility. So they are the flagellated motile spores formed in the structure called as the zoosporangia. This we have studied in 11th standard in fungi chapter, or you can say we have also studied in the plant chapters, right? We have studied in the, basically हमने जब plants को study किया था, plant kingdom, at that time we have studied it, as well as we have studied in the fungi chapter 2. So what are zoospores? They are the motile flagellated spores produced in the zoosporangia, and so they are microscopic motile structures. Other some asexual reproductive structures are conidia. These conidia are the non-motile spores which are produced in conidiospores. Example is penicillium. Then there are buds like in hydra. What is budding? So some part of the body undergoes repeated mitotic division to produce the raised mast of cell called as bud. Like hydra में हमने देखा था, hydra undergoes, some part of the body of the hydra undergoes continuous cell division. It forms a mass of the cell, and that mass of the cell is called bud. This bud will detach from the parent body, and that will form the new organisms. And then there are gemmules. Gemmules are nothing but they are the internal buds formed in the sponges. See students, here you can see this is budding in hydra. ये hydra, here is the growth of bud. See, this part of the body is forming a bud. Now bud develops the mouth and tentacles. एक छोटा hydra यहाँ पे form हुआ. Now this bud will detach from the parent body and it will lead an independent life. These are the gemmules in sponges. These all are nothing but they are the internal buds. Okay, and these internal buds will then form the new sponges. These are the zoospores of the Chlamydomonas. These are the motile spores, right? They have the flagella. Conidia is found in penicillium. ये conidiophore होता है, and on that conidiophores, external spores called conidia are developed. These are the buds of the hydra, which will later detach from the parent body and lead an individual life. And again, these are the gemmules in the sponges. So that is regarding the asexual reproduction in the different groups of organisms. In the next lecture, we will be studying regarding the asexual reproduction in the plants. There are different methods of asexual reproduction in plants, natural methods of asexual reproduction in plants. So how it occurs, we will be studying in the next lecture. So I end my lecture here. Thank you students.